More knuckleheads. I decided to do a first installment of the Eagle's Nest. All right, there we go. The Eagle's Nest is going to be strictly biker news, things that hit. And one of the things that I want to start today with is that just a short while ago, last night or within the last day or so, there was a mass shooting at a biker bar. Now, a lot of people were speculating, saying that the biker bar was shot up by a biker. Biker wars and stuff like that. The typical BS that people follow through. Well, I'm sorry, but that's not how it goes. No biker news you can distort. How you doing, Baron, brother? But yeah, there's a biker bar in Orange County, California that was just shot up, 4 dead, including the suspect. And it just came across my news feed shortly a while ago, and I'm sitting there, I'm listening to it, stuff like that. And I've heard a lot of people sit there and say that the suspect had to have been a biker, because it is a biker club or biker bar. But it was not just a biker bar. There was kids in that club or in that restaurant. Hey, Sweets, how you doing? And so I'm sitting there, I'm looking at this. And I'm looking at it, I'm reading, I'm watching the whole videos and stuff like that. And I'm sitting there, I'm waiting for them to sit there and say, oh, well, this was a biker war, because of it being biker friendly and stuff like this, right? No. The person is a retired police officer. The first person that he shot was his estranged wife, because he could not handle the divorce. A police officer is the one that shot this bar up. Now let's see here real quick. Let's go there. Go there.
Happened just after 7 o'clock last night. The place was packed for that weekly spaghetti dinner when witnesses said a man, now identified as John Snowling, walked in and opened fire into the crowded bar just like that. And just like that, 3 innocent people lost their lives and 6 others were injured. 5 of them shot, 2 left in critical condition. Moments later, responding deputies with the Orange County Sheriff's Department confronted the shooter. There
Hey,
was a
Rob, how you
shooting,
doing, brother?
and the suspect died here at the scene too.
Fortunately, when these things do happen, I think we have some of the best and most well-trained professionals that respond in the Sheriff's Department and the Orange County Fire Authority. But as you mentioned, yes, this is an absolute tragic event and something that I know is probably weighing very heavy on the entire Trabuco Canyon community.
See, 4 dead, including the suspect. Now, later on other deals, they said that the father-in-law Well, the father of the lady that got shot, the officer's wife that was shot, said that the guy was crazy as hell. He was very gone in a lot of aspects. Um, when they got a divorce because of his whatever reasons, he just couldn't take it. And to me, that's a control freak. That is a narcissistic bitch. Yeah. But like I said, this plot gets thickened real quick.
Corner. I mean, it's a staple here in South Orange County, in this area of Orange County. So it's a significant thing.
And 14 hours after the shooting today, the investigation continues. The crime scene being documented. We have detectives with the Orange County Sheriff's Department working side by side with the ATF, with the FBI, and with representatives from the district attorney's office who always investigate when there is an officer involved shooting. They're handling that part of the investigation. Now, William Mosby, he is Snowling's former father-in-law. He spoke to the Orange County Register. He told them that his daughter was at Cook's Corner last night. She's 61 years old. She regularly attended the spaghetti night dinner. She was there with at least one girlfriend. She was shot in the face. And Mosby told the Register, quote, that his former son-in-law was, again, quote, crazy, and that he did not take the divorce well. Now, we're expecting an update from the Orange County Sheriff's Department that will come later today. Right now, none of the victims have been publicly identified by officials. Reporting live this morning, I'm Gigi Gracia. We'll send it back to you.
Gigi, that's a really important point that you're making about the fact that this isn't just a biker bar. This is where families went. The fact the sign outside says children welcome, it really paints a different picture. The tragedy is tragic nonetheless, but it definitely was a focal point for that community. And we really feel for the families there that saw this unfold before them.
Hey, Jay, my brother, how you doing, man?
Thank you. We're going to turn over and check in with Mario to get an update on the 6 people who were injured in the mass shooting.
Yeah, Mario is standing by outside Providence Mission Hospital in Mission Viejo with the details. Mario.
Yeah, see, like I said, the father-in-law stated that the dude was fucking crazy. And like I said, when you sit there and see biker bar, when you hear that biker aspect, you sit there and you automatically think that the bikers got into beef, whether it be turf wars or someone came in with the wrong cuts. But as it turns out, it was a cop, a former cop. Someone that is supposed to uphold the law, someone that is supposed to sit there and hold themselves at a higher report. Because of the fact that they are supposed to be the law. The officer that shot up the Orange County biker bar, or Cook's Corner biker bar in Orange County, California, was a cop, and he shot his estranged wife right in the face, trying to kill her because they got a divorce. Hey, Motor City brother, how you doing, man? Yeah, and like I said, this is a cop, not a biker. Which, when most people see biker bar shootout, they instantly think it's the deal. It's not. Not always the case. Anyway, I should say. But when his father-in-law states that he was crazier than hell, that should say something right there. That falls suit with the narcissistic abuse, because he did not want to get divorced from his wife. Oh yeah, there's a few others injured. There's interviews with one of the victims, the witnesses and stuff like that, where he sat there and he lost one of his best friends. There is no conclusion yet on if other
Hi,
bikers
Roxy
stood
Sancho. We're
up.
getting new information, learning that 2 of the victims hospitalized were band members playing live when this all happened at that Trabuco Canyon bar. 6 people in all were taken here to Providence Mission Hospital, the trauma center. This is about 10 miles south of where that shooting unfolded. Take a look. Cell phone video showing at least one of the victims being treated by first responders, other bar patrons even rushing in to help some of the injured. The shooting at Cook's Corner Bar on Santiago Canyon Road unfolding, and in front of as many as 40 people. It left 4 people dead, including the suspected gunman, taken down by sheriff's deputies outside, while several others were left injured during the incident.
OCFA firefighter paramedics treated and transported 6 people to a local trauma center, 5 of which had reported gunshot wounds.
The trauma intervention program who responded, they are a group of volunteers who respond and assist with many of our victims' families, witnesses, and those that experience and observe this really tragic incident.
2 of the victims, according to a hospital spokesperson, critically injured, 4 in stable condition, and one of the victims who survived being identified by family as the estranged ex-wife of the suspected shooter, 61-year-old Marie Snowling, who they say was targeted at the bar and suffered a gunshot wound to the face before being taken to the hospital. And we've learned that she has since been transferred to UCI Medical Center. As for those 2 band members that were shot, I mentioned at the top of the report, they're expected to survive, and the names of those 3 innocent people killed have not yet been released. Reporting live in Mission Viejo, I'm Mario Ramirez. Back to you.
What do you got in there? What do you got in there?
Yep, she survived. But like I said, when you sit there and you hear of the biker shootout, 9 times out of 10, your mind automatically goes to that bar or that biker. You're sitting there, you're saying that you're all done up, But one thing that most of these people that do biker news, they don't hit the full story. When you do the news, you do the whole thing. You don't just do one-sided part of the news. You do the whole thing. And I was kind of shocked too, because my first instinct was, okay, biker bar, biker beef, someone said something wrong, someone did this, Hey, Dragon Lady Hun, how you doing, sweetheart? But when you do stuff like that, it makes no sense whatsoever for a cop to be included. Because a lot of times they hide that fact. They don't want to report that the officer screwed up. And see, that's one reason why I don't trust these pigs. I don't care for them. I don't like them. I don't trust them. But to sit there and shoot a woman, that don't make sense whatsoever to me. But again, like I said, that's a narcissistic move. That's a narcissistic bitch. He wants total control, how he wants it, the way he wants it. Now, I will do more in-depth look in this asshat. But I don't think this is cool. Kids at this restaurant, families at this restaurant. An officer of the law putting children at harm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you better believe I'm going to find out. I'm going to go into depth with this. Today, I am going to do a full look into this dude's life. The charges, why they get a divorce, everything else. I mean, something needs to be said about this little twat waffle. And to put kids in danger, and he's supposed to be an officer of the law? What the fuck is that douchebag thinking? There's a special place in hell for that bitch. But he won't face court. He won't face anything for justice, because justice was served there at Cook's Corner. Because from what they're saying is that he is now deceased. And no, I will not say deleted or any other that pansy ass crap, because I'm going to tell you how it is the way it is. Again, this is another reason why bikers do not trust cops. We see the reality of their stupidness. We see the reality of who they are. And yes, there are a lot of us that wish the best for them. But still, what made this douchebag sit there and go up and shoot a restaurant full of kids in front of these kids to shoot a woman in the face, which she was just enjoying spaghetti. Was that spaghetti so bad or so good that you have to sit there and shoot the person for eating it? Yeah, I know. So am I. But she's also in critical shape too, so. Or at least that's what I get from the other reports. But see, like I said, it just don't compute with me. It don't make sense. You know, because here he is, an officer of the law. A sergeant in Orange County. Mind you, being retired for 9 years, but that don't matter. He is still a law enforcement. He is still one of those dudes that's supposed to know the law, uphold the law, and know better. I'm going to go back to where you is, there you is, right there, there. I'm going to do a interview. I'm going to go to the interview of one of the witnesses. All right, here we go.
Thank you. I just talked to a witness who was up at Cook's Corner at the time of this shooting, and he has lost a friend. What he says is there was 5 or 6 shots. They were outside in the picnic area. They heard these shots, and then the shooting stopped, and then it started up again. And he said a group of people on the outside started running, and he said that included his friend, a man in Irvine, from Irvine. And when they were running, he said his friend went down next to him, and he assumed that he had tripped. And again, this witness who I spoke to said that he, kept running and lost track of his friend for a time. After that, he says he came into contact with another victim, someone who was shot in the arm and had a pretty bad injury. He described him as a cook at the restaurant. He said they barricaded themselves in the kitchen, and he grabbed a frying pan and they waited it out there. He said later it is when he found out that his friend, in fact, hadn't tripped, but he was shot in the back and was killed. He also told me a story about a woman who he spoke to. He described her as an employee who works at Cook's Corner, and he said that she came up to him and described this encounter with the gunman. Apparently, the woman was pregnant.
Now, I have a question. Does this reporter seem a little unnerved? The way she's speaking, she's either scared really bad or she's not sure of herself. She does not have the confidence enough to do this. What's y'all's opinion?
Pregnant, and she
I mean, she
said to the
does do
gunman,
great.
"Please don't kill me. I'm 5 months pregnant." And the gunman then said, "Get out of here." So these are just a few of the stories that were being told. Again, I just hung up a few minutes ago with this witness. He is still up at the scene. He said, he's understandably in shock, and he's been interviewed several times by law enforcement, and he remains up at Cook's Corner. Behind me, you can see all of the cameras and the podium. We are waiting a new briefing from the Orange County Sheriff's Department at 11 o'clock. So we hope to get a few more details about the shooter, who, as we know, is dead, and who our sources have told us is a former police officer with Ventura Police. Back to you.
And so, Michelle, if I'm understanding correctly, that friend that you were talking, the friend of the victim, that person was actually at Cook's Corner?
That's right. He was there with his friend outside in the picnic area. There's kind of like a beer garden out there, lots of tables set up outside. And he said they heard 5 or 6 shots coming from inside, and then it stopped. And then there were a volley of shots. He said maybe 30 shots afterwards. And that's when they all started running.
Michelle Gili at the scene here in Trabuco Canyon of Cook's Corner, where there's a scene of a deadly mass shooting that occurred earlier tonight, just after 7 o'clock. 4 people dead, found on the scene, 6 with gunshot wounds. In addition to those 4 dead, all taken to a trauma center, 2 in critical, 4 in stable. Michelle, thank you so much. We know that you'll have additional information coming up later here on KCAL News. I'd like to get to Desmond Shaw, because Des, Michelle had mentioned that there were, the witness had known that somebody saw this and was still at the scene now. Are you seeing that they are releasing anybody? What's the latest on the people being interviewed? You had one person that might have been able to leave. Can you tell me more?
I know that area, and you want to talk about some good roads to ride on?
This is where it's all taking place, I believe, in the beer garden that Michelle Gili was just referencing. We know that at least a few people have cleared from the scene. I've seen at least one, I believe 2 vehicles that left here, this whole side parking lot, that they have been able to leave. And now that we know from what Michelle is saying from her source, it sounds like the shooting began inside here at Cook's Corner. I was originally thinking that maybe it happened in the beer garden, but we know that couldn't have happened also because that's where we have everyone gathered up. And, sheriff's deputies would not have all of these people gathered in this area if that was where any of the shooting took place, because they would be too close to potential evidence or stuff like that. So, so if the shooting happened inside, the nearest body is in this area where there is a canopy, kind of in this in-between area between the interior of the building and that large beer garden, and then the other 2 victims out in this area. So I'm wondering if the person in the rear was the person who was killed first, and if that is the suspect's wife or not, or if one of these 2 out here in front underneath these canopies is one of the suspect's wife. Over here underneath this canopy of trees where this spotlight is, there is another canopy, and that is where the suspect is. At first we thought that they were inside of a vehicle, but they're actually on the ground. I did see that in the last orbit that we came through. So we're starting to kind of piece this together a little bit at a time. A very key detail there, it sounds like, with the shooting actually beginning in the interior of Cook's Corner.
Well, as Michelle was talking about, 5 to 6 shots heard first in the picnic area. The shooting stopped, according to the friend of the victim that Michelle was talking with tonight on the phone. And then the shooting started again. Now, I want to bring your attention to some sound that we got with someone who actually heard the shooting. So let's listen to that.
And we heard gunshots just randomly start going off. And then a few minutes later, we heard it kind of increasing. We were like really confused what was going on, and we were kind of scared. And then we kind of ran back inside. But it's just a crazy scene from there.
So the gunshots started, they paused, and they continued?
Yeah, they kind of paused for a second. I think that was the original shooting. And then when they continued, I think it was when the police officers showed up.
Got it.
That's what me and my mom could tell anyway.
So when you were looking down there, what could you see?
It's kind of hard to tell. It's a bit of a look, but we definitely saw the cop cars coming up, and then we heard the gunshots kind of increase once the cops were there. So that's kind of what was going on.
So what are you thinking the whole time that this is going on?
I mean, we were super scary. All the neighbors were out in the middle of the street, like, what is going on? Why are there gunshots right in our backyard? And then it was a very scary moment. My mom and I, we looked for a second and we got scared because we didn't know how close it was. So we went back inside our house, and then I was kind of scared for an hour or two. So I finally came back down here just to check it out closer to the scene.
Well, that witness confirming what we heard from Michelle's witness, 5 to 6 shots in the picnic area, or the shots heard first, it's stopping, and then lots of shots happening again. And that witness telling us that he believes that's when police were engaging.
And that's when that young man probably heard the second volley, if you will, is once the police officers with the Orange County Sheriff's Department showed up, and they exchanged gunfire with the shooter. So 5 or 6 shots, and then people running. More shots later, probably when officers arrived.
Hey, what do y'all think? Should this be left alone because it is a officer of the law, or do you think that we should get more into detail about this officer? Because there's just some things that just don't add up. You know, like I said, he is supposed to be an officer of the law. He is supposed to be see, that's what I'm saying. From what we know, hey Grizz, how you doing, brother? Well, from what we know so far is that the officer that was shot and killed, shot a lot of people. But this does sound off a little bit. And as Jamin said, did the cops kill other people by accident? Or was it just that cop? Was it just that officer? And if he was just out for his wife, he would have shot her and only her. So what drove this little narcissistic bitch to do what he did? You know, to kill innocent folks is not cool. But like I said, tonight I am going to look into this. I'm going to go into more detail with this, and tomorrow I will sit there and I will do another installment of the Eagle's Nest. And I'm going to do the Eagle's Nest every day, every morning. Usually I'll try to do it every morning if I could. Well, like I said, this story has so many different holes in it. Swiss cheese isn't that bad. But like I said, if you're going to do the news, you know, if you're going to do biker news, you got to go into full aspect of every aspect of this. You cannot pick one side or the other. You got to be right down the middle. And that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to do my best to keep it right down the middle, make sure that I got all my dots crossed, my I's dotted, and all this. Because as you heard in the interview earlier, her dad, his wife's ex-wife's dad, sat there and stated that he was just crazy as shit. You know, so I'm going to go into look into who he is, what he is, why they got the divorce and all this other shit. So tomorrow I will do another installment of the Eagle's Nest. and I will have more of this story going out because I would like to find out what made this dumb shit crazy officer do what he did. You know, I know he sat there and they said that he could not take the divorce very well. But still, it does not make any reasoning for the fact that he is the lawmaker. He is the one that's supposed to bring the law, uphold the law. To kill other people, to hurt other people, what kind of lawman is this douchebag? It just don't make sense. And you know me, those that know me well enough know that I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. I don't pretend to, but like I said, this just does not make sense whatsoever. Is what brought this to this table. And if I am correct, I do have updated. Oh, yes, we do.
I want to start by offering condolences to the families of the victims and the entire Trabuco Canyon community. Cook's Corner, the location where this tragic incident occurred, is truly a beloved part of the Trabuco Canyon.
Now we got an update.
So a little bit of information about what happened tonight at about 7:04 p.m. Deputies responded to multiple 911 calls of shots being fired at Cook's Corner. The caller stated that the male fired 4 to 6 shots. About 2 minutes later, at 7:06 p.m., deputies arrived on scene and dispatch could hear gunshots in the background. At 7:08 p.m., deputies then confronted a male subject that was armed with a gun. At that point, a deputy-involved shooting occurred, and that involved multiple deputies. At this point, the man believed to be involved in the shooting is deceased at the scene. At least one weapon has been recovered at the scene, and we have been made aware that the suspect may be retired law enforcement. We are working to confirm that information as we speak. I want to remind everyone that we are just 3 hours from the time that this shooting occurred. We still have a number of people, a number of witnesses that we need to interview, and we're going to be processing the scene throughout the night. So I ask that you be patient. We're trying to provide as much information as we can. But again, it's a very complex and detailed scene, and we have folks out there working throughout the night processing the scene. I want to thank our partners from the Orange County Fire Authority for their assistance and their response, and I want to thank also the Trauma Intervention Program who responded. They are a group of volunteers who respond and assist with many of our victims, families, witnesses, and those that experienced and observed this really tragic incident. I also want to thank our federal partners from the FBI and the ATF are here also assisting as needed. And at this point, I will turn it over to Chief Brian Fennessy to provide an update.
Thank you. 7:05 p.m., Orange County Fire Authority firefighters responded to assist the Orange County Sheriff's Department for a report of a shooting and immediately entered into unified command with the Orange County Sheriff's Department. OCFA firefighter paramedics treated and transported 6 people to a local trauma center, 5 of which had reported gunshot wounds. The other 4, or 2 of the 6 people we transported, are in critical condition. The other 4 are in stable condition. In addition, 4 people were pronounced deceased on scene by our firefighter paramedics. This tragic incident weighs heavy on our community and the first responders, and our hearts go out to all those involved. Thank you.
As I mentioned just a few minutes ago, obviously we're only a couple of hours removed from this incident.
One of the things that gets me is that if you notice on their badge, they got that black line through it. That means one of the officers is down. I don't know if it's the officer that did the shooting that they said, that's the reason why, because they got that black line through their badge, or if one of the other people that were involved in the shooting was an officer.
And so we're willing to take a few brief questions, but please be patient with us as we don't have a lot of detail. Michelle. So the question was, is this possibly a domestic violence incident involving a male and a female subject? That's part of the ongoing investigation. Obviously, we're getting a lot of the same information, but as I mentioned, we have a number of witnesses that are down at Cook's Corner that are being interviewed now. So I think it's too early to confirm any of that information, but we're getting some of that same information, working to confirm it. I'm sorry. What can you tell us about the 4 people that were killed? Were their ages and were they women, men? The question was about the 4 that are deceased. I don't have any of the information. I don't know gender or age or any details at this point. The question was about whether or not the shooter was a prior law enforcement. We are just getting some of that preliminary information. It's way too early to confirm any of that, whether it's a specific agency, whether he's actually retired or where he retired from. But we're working to confirm that and would expect to have that information maybe tomorrow if in fact it's true.
Yeah, and you can better believe that I'll be there watching it, sitting there bringing it up, because we need to know. But you also know that the cops are going to back themselves
The question
up
was about
no matter what.
weapons that may have been used. The only information is what I said earlier. We recovered at least one weapon. As to what type of weapons they are, or whether he went and retrieved another one, I don't have that information. Again, very brief. Deputies were on scene very quickly, within a couple of minutes. As they arrived on scene, when they key up their radio, dispatch can obviously hear what is happening around them oftentimes. And it is our understanding that dispatch could hear gunshots going off in the background. I don't know if it was with the alleged shooter. I know there was a deputy involved shooting involving multiple deputies. At this point, I think it's safe to assume that they would have engaged the shooter, but I don't have specific details.
Yeah, multiple sheriffs, multiple officers involved in shootings. So Jamie's question, it comes up. Maybe the cops killed some of the people. We need to find this out. Because, like I said, it just does not make sense right now as it sits. Because it's still too early and the cops will back themselves up. The police will always back themselves up. They will lie for each other every freaking time. We need officers to stand up and do what's right. Uphold the law, uphold the Constitution that you swore upon when you joined the office. He's a cop, say he's a cop. He did dirty, you say he did dirty. Not, oh, well, this, you know, and you try to bring other people out left field instead of staying right here where the truth lies. Because you need the truth. We, the people, need the truth. We need to know if this is as it says. Not to try to cover it up, not to try to sugarcoat it, not to sit there and try to make us believe that it's something over here when it's right here. The evidence is right here. The receipts are right here. Receipts are everything.
It's obviously a horrible and a tragic situation. These types of shootings are not commonplace here in Orange County. Fortunately, when these things do happen, I think we have some of the best and most well-trained professionals that respond in the Sheriff's Department and the Orange County Fire Authority. But as you mentioned, yes, it's an absolute tragic event and something that I know is probably weighing very heavy on the entire Trabuco Canyon community. Cook's Corner, I mean, it's a staple here in South Orange County, in this area of Orange County. So it's a significant thing. I'm hearing upwards of 30 to 40 witnesses possibly.
Well, hell, the restaurant was full of people. So, of course, yeah, you're going to have good witnesses.
I don't want to get too much into that because I don't know the specifics of the incident other than that there was somebody shooting, but our training, our protocol tells us that we would engage that suspect, yes. That's all going to be dependent on the situation. I don't want to speculate at this point because I don't know exactly what the deputies encountered when they arrived. Yes, that's correct. I don't have that information. I know when the deputies arrived, he was at Cook's Corner. How long he had been there, or what happened preceding their arrival, or that call to dispatch, I don't know. So I don't know the exact number. As I mentioned, we've got investigators down at the scene that are interviewing folks. We don't have any type of a reunification center, but those people obviously would have the ability to reach out to loved ones and let them know that they're okay. I don't have that information. Orange County Fire Authority may have some of those details. We know that 6 were transported, as the chief said, 2 were critical. I don't have those specifics. I'm sorry. Yeah, and that question was asked, and I don't have those specifics at all. I'm sorry. It's just too early. Again, I apologize. It's just only a couple of hours removed, and it's just important that we get through all of the witnesses to find out truly what happened. And obviously, if there's any video available, those types of things, we're working on all of that now. I don't know, but if
What y'all think? This kind of thing where an officer involved shooting, killing innocent folks, because of getting a divorce. From what I'm gathering, she is the one that is filing for divorce. She is the one that filed for divorce. And he couldn't take it. I say that's a control issue. That's a narcissistic bitch. That makes you wonder what all led up to that point. I mean, what got the divorce? Why did she get the divorce from him for? I mean, y'all heard where her dad sat there and said that he was crazy. So there's other things that needs to be plotted into this. How bad was he? What kind of an officer was he? Was he a good cop at one time and some shit just happened to make him retire? His mentality kind of got snapped doing what law officers do. I will definitely be looking into this today. I'm going to look more into it. I'm going to sit there. Yep. And it's just going to keep getting worse. And that's the bad part. Is because nobody is standing up against it. No one is standing up against it. More and more shootings, school shootings, innocent kids being killed because of some deranged twat waffle thinking that it's going to change everything. No, it's not. Fear is becoming the norm. More and more people are scared. More and more people are scared to take their kids to school. More and more people are scared to go out to restaurants. More and more people are scared to even leave their home because of shit like this. Because more and more shootings happen every day. More and more folks are getting shot every day. Innocent lives being taken. Now, I will not get into this same bullcrap of, well, you know, he was a Trump lover, you know, he just snapped, or he was a demon rat and just couldn't take it anymore, or any of that other bullshit. He was a dumbass. For right now, as it stands, I will call it like it is. But if I am wrong, I will admit I am wrong and I will correct myself. But from what I see and what I've heard so far, that's a narcissistic bitch. He could not handle getting a divorce, so he took it out on his wife. Ex-wife, excuse me. How bad was that marriage? What entailed with that divorce? Why did she file divorce? There's so many different factors on this, it's not even funny. We need to find this out. And believe you me, I'll be there. I'm going to look into this. I'm going to sit there and find out as much information I can on this tonight, well, today, tonight, and tomorrow. I will do another installment of the Eagle's Nest, and I will bring you more updates on this issue as I can. And I'm going to keep it right down the middle. I will do my best to keep it straightforward. Because like I said, if I am wrong, I will correct myself. I will admit my wrong in front of y'all right there. Because I'm being held accountable by y'all right there watching this. I'm not afraid of the laws coming up my doorstep. They know me well enough. They come in peace. Hey, Papa brother. Oh my God, you are alive. We've been worried about you, brother. Where you been? We miss you, brother. But you know, like I said, I'm going to do what I can to keep it sensible. I'm going to do what I can to keep it right in the middle instead of one side or the other. Because I'm going to hit right down the line. I'm going to call it as it is. I'm going to give you guys the best news I can. Ooh, what's her name? She cute. I hear you there, brother. But we miss you, man. You got to check in every now and then with us. You've got our Discord. You know, like I said, I am going to do more biker news. There's things that I'm going to bring up. There's things I'm going to do. But right now, this, because of the fact that it is a biker bar. That's one thing that got me. I was sitting there, I was reading a whole bunch of different stuff. I was watching all different kinds of news feed on just this because I wanted to make sure that I got the right information. Because I don't go half cocked. I've seen other creators only get part of the story because they sit there and they see something and they run with just that little bit. No. If you're going to do the news, if you're going to do the biker news, you get the whole story. And you don't regurgitate others' news. Because you're not doing the news at that point. You're piggybacking. You sit there and you follow suit on someone else's coattail. That's not a news anchor. That's not a journalist. That's just being lazy. And no, like I said, I don't give names. But like I said, tonight, I'm going to look more into this. As I can have it come up, I'm going to redo this more. And I'm going to give everybody the best news that I can give. You know, I'm not one of these scripted people that have the monitor right in front of me sitting there saying, okay, now this is how this is where it is. No. I come to you guys raw, unfiltered, unadulterated, real. Because that's what you guys deserve. You guys deserve real, honest to God news. Well, yeah, Kermit knows about that one. But like I said, a police officer that's supposed to uphold the law, that is supposed to sit there and know right from wrong, how to deal with things. Shooting up innocent folks. Shooting his wife in the face. For what? There's something within that marriage that just does not set right. For her to get the divorce from him, how long were they married? Did they have children? All these things needs to come into play. I know you had to. If you didn't, I would have. And you know I would have. Like I said, the one person that we need to ask is Kermit the Frog because he knows all about piggybacking. He's got what, 50 years of it? He's had more pork rinds than anybody else on this planet. Pretty near. But like I said, you guys deserve real, honest to God, straightforward news. If you're going to have biker news, go through the whole thing. State it as it is. Don't just go one side or the other, because you need it right in the middle. You need it straightforward. You need it right there. You need to have it on both sides. Grandma always told me there's three sides to the story. You got his side, their side, then you got the truth. She says, always look at his side, their side, and then make the truth. Because the truth will be out of both sides of the story. Not just the left side, not just the right side. We don't deserve to live in fear. We are not created to live in fear. But it seems every day there's shootings. Every day people are getting killed. Innocent folks are getting killed. We need to start standing up. We need to start making our voices heard. See, the world is not going to be destroyed by those that are doing evil. The world is going to be destroyed by those who are watching it and not saying anything about it. That's why I always make my voice heard. I always stand up for the little folk. But with that being said, I need to run for a little bit. I need to take care of a few issues. But as I always close my deals, it don't matter what branch of service you're in, will be in, or was in. Whether it be the Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard, National Guards, Army, hoorah. You got our salute 100% here. Stand by you. We got your back. We got your six. You need a place to call home? This channel is your channel. Anybody comes onto this channel, whether you have beef with them on other channels, this is a safe zone. Later, Jamin brother, I loved your Taco Tuesday video. I haven't commented yet, but that was just a good video. You want a good friend? Jamin, this guy is cool. He's relaxed, laid back. Papa, another one. Lissa, Grizz, Dragon. Everybody that came into my chat today, I thank you guys. I thank you guys with the bottom of my heart. I love y'all. Even you little lurkers, the ones that are sitting there behind, not saying anything. I'm glad to have as many subscribers as I do. You guys are amazing. You guys rock. I must be doing something right for you guys to sit there and look, watch my videos and all this other stuff. I didn't expect to even get 5. Hey, take care, Papa. Good seeing you again. Check up on us more often because I am not going to sit there and go to the Johos and sit there and take out a search party for you. But again, like I said, it don't matter what bike you ride, don't matter what cut you've got on, no cut, diamond cut, mom and pop cut, it don't matter what bike you ride, even if it is a victory. It's just the fact that you're out there riding. And yes, I always give victory riders a rise and shit. Only because I care for them and I love them. The bikes are actually sweet looking. They are monstrous. They are very nice. But still, I'm going to give victory riders a rise and shit. But again, it don't matter what you ride. No matter what cut you've got on, whether it be a 1-piece, 3-piece, 100-piece, it don't matter to me. It's just the fact that you're out there riding, you're exploring the world through a different view. You're exploring your freedom, you're exploring the winds, you're exploring life to its fullest. The only bike is, if you could ever call it a bike, that I will never care for, and that's those Can-Am Spyder looking bitches. Those things are not motorcycles. Stop trying to classify them as a motorcycle. Those things are snowmobiles with birth defects. Come on. Can-Am snowmobile. That's what they're famous for. They make one of the best snowmobiles out there. Sort of. They've been in business long enough. They know what they're doing on the snowmobiles. The motorcycles, not so much. But again, like I said, don't matter what you ride. It's just the fact that you're out there riding. You do you. Don't worry about other people. We love y'all. Thank y'all. Let me know what you guys think of this first installment of the Eagle's Nest. Whether I messed up, whatever, don't worry about trying to hurt my feelings because, see, I got tougher skin on my nuts than most of these people do in their whole entire body. I want to know what y'all think. Whether it be on Discord or here, I'd love to hear it because you're matter. I should say, y'all matter. Anyway, hoorah. We're out. Peace. We love y'all. Take the time to enjoy.